Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everybody. Welcome to my YouTube channel and to the next installment in the Keweenaw and Scenic Valley Railroad build. If you were watching last time, you will have seen me get the railroad complete. This week it's time to dismantle it for shipping. So without further ado, let's just head out to the workshop and get busy. Well, now that it is time to start dismantling the railroad, the first thing I'm going to do is get the trestle out and safely packed away. And with that in mind, I have started by building a crate for it. Here it is. The original foam trestle stand will go in the bottom of the crate, and then the trestle will travel on its own stand and be held in place by just filling the whole crate with foam chips. Packing peanuts. So that should keep it safe in transit. Let me get that put away and I'll be right back. Well, I don't think I need packing peanuts. I think the foam sheets put down the sides to hold it on its support so it can't slide off, I think that will even be better. So I'm just going to call that good and seal up the crate. I'll check in with you again later. Well, the first piece is out. Unfortunately, it didn't start off very well because there was one wire that I didn't undo to start with, and it pulled, and I have already wrecked a piece of track. It's no big deal. I will repair it during the reinstallation. Hopefully things will go better from now on. Well, this is the section that I told you when I built it was going to be difficult to get it out. You can see where I gave it the extra 1/4 inch with that plywood insert. Anyway, I've got all 4 corners jacked up on blocks of wood. And I think the method now is to go around and gradually replace them with taller and taller blocks until I can slide it out. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Well, the method of getting this piece out was to put a rail along here out of this piece of wood and another one on the other board and slide it off the back. That way I only had to lift this end up. Originally I was going to slide it off the front, and of course that's how I'm going to have to get it back in when it's in the train room, but this post would have got in the way, so that's why I had to go off backwards. Anyway, I got Sean to help me, and it is now safely on the ground where I can see about protecting the ends and making it safe for transportation. I was going to make another clip with it up on the top, slid halfway back, but just as Sean got out here to help me, I tried to do that and the camera said it was out of batteries, so I wasn't able to make that clip. Anyway, let me continue and I'll be right back. Well, with 4 sections removed, that is as far as I'm going to go around the top deck for now. My plan is to start working on disassembling this whole wing of the railroad, all levels. That way I'll get some floor area and I'll have more room to work. I have undone the bolts for the helix. At the moment it's just resting on the bolts, and I have a stack of bricks in the middle so I can slide it out and the bricks will support it. But I need to go get Sean again because I don't want it to fall and break something. So don't go away, I'll be right back. Well, with this helix now detached and on the floor, I think I'm going to call that a day. I'm going to go in, feed the dogs, and I'll come back out and continue tomorrow. I had to cut the sub road bed across here. I think I glued it in place when I did the scenery, but it didn't want to come out. But that's no big deal. When I reassemble it, I'll just put a wood block in here, screwed both ways, and that will hold it in the right place. Anyway, that's all for today. I'll check in with you again tomorrow. Don't go away. Well, before I continue dismantling the railroad this morning, I want to cut the corner off this frame under the helix. You've probably noticed it's sticking out, and although it is behind the fascia for the top level at this point, I think it looks weird. So the plan is to put a 45-degree piece in the corner, then cut the rest of the frame off and then make it secure from there. The other thing I'm going to do is separate the 2 halves of the helix for transportation. Originally I was planning on leaving them attached to each other for transport, figuring they would hold each other together but it's just too heavy to manhandle into the trailer and into the client's house, so I'm going to separate it. Alright, something else that almost caught me. When I tilted it, I missed the beam by about 1/8 of an inch. So that was nearly a problem, but I got away with it. Well, that little job is now finished. I've been wanting to do it for months, but I knew it'd be a lot easier to do it with the helix turned on its side during disassembly than it would have been to lie on my back and do it in situ. So that is now done. Only took a few moments. Time to continue dismantling the railroad. Next piece to come out will be the trestle section. Well, most of the peninsula is now gone, including the cabinets at the end of it, and I'm happy with the day's work. I'm going to go in now. I'm really hot and sweaty, so I will check in with you again tomorrow and continue. Don't go away. Well, this morning I'm starting by clearing off this wall to give me more stacking space for railroad sections. I got the first piece down already, which proved to be a little bit more complex than it should have been because a little bit of glue had seeped in between this section and the next one. But it's down now and safely on the floor. And then once I've got rid of the next staging yard section, I'll have a lot more space to stack the remaining pieces of the peninsula. So that is my plan for the rest of this morning. Don't go away, I'll check in with you again later. Well, that was a bit of a fight getting that piece out. I had to come out with this piece still attached to it because those 3 screws there were impossible to reach under the helix. So I've got to remember to reattach that piece before I insert it. So I'm now going to get these 2 pieces prepped for transportation, get the rail ends protected, and then I'll have a lot more space to work in. Don't go away, I will check in with you again later. With the peninsula gone, I now have a much bigger open space in the middle of my workshop than I have had in months. I've just got this L-shaped piece of railroad to dismantle, and then I'll be done. Well, although I have the whole of the top deck separated and ready to come down, I need some help, and Sean has already gone to work. He actually left about 5 minutes before I was ready for him to lift one piece down. So I've just gone ahead and done as much as I can in his absence, and I'll get him out here to help me for a few minutes as soon as I get back from church tomorrow. So don't go away, I will check in with you again later. Well, I'm going to go in now. It's Sunday afternoon, I don't want to spend too long out here. I got Sean to help me get these 5 top level sections down, get them safely on the floor, and then I've packed them up, protected the ends, and removed one more piece of the middle level. So as I say, I'm going to go in now, and I will continue tomorrow. Don't go away. I'll check in with you then. Well, I have 2 more pieces done out of the corner. This next L-shaped bit is all disconnected and ready to come down, but it's a little heavy and the centre of gravity is not in such a location that I can lift it by myself without risk of damaging it. So I'm going to have to wait for Sean. Unfortunately, he's just gone to work a few minutes ago, so I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow now. But it's still early in the afternoon, so I'm not going to go in yet. Instead, what I'm going to do is start moving all these frames into this corner of the workshop, because the opposite piece to this one I need to dig out so I can make a pair out of them for transportation. I also have a load of leisure boards to make, but 2 of the sheets of plywood I need are in there. So I'm just going to have to do things in a different order to what I had planned. It's no big deal. So let me get organised and I'll check in with you again later. Don't go away. Well, I've shuffled most of the sections, dug out the one that I need, and now paired these 2 up together. It results in a rather heavy module, but it's still movable quite easily by 2 people, and both of them have all the track protected, and it's also sturdy enough to stand out without risk of falling over. So I think those advantages outweigh the extra weight. Now a little bit more digging and I can get to the wood that I need to build the ledger boards. So don't go away, I will check in with you again later. Well, I've now built all the ledger boards I need for the entire railroad. There they are down there. And I've also attached the stiffener to the bottom of the workbench. That's all the building stuff that I had for this morning. Now hopefully Sean is awake because I need his help to move this section. So don't go away, I'll be right back. Well, I've just had to cut this corner off. The problem was that the section I've just removed has to be lifted over that, but it couldn't be lifted because of this. That corner overlapped it by about 1.5 inches. We were able to get it out of here because we could use this corner of the workshop between the door rails, but we won't have those 2 inches when we install it in the client's train room. So that's why I've had to make the modifications now, so that we don't run into problems later. Anyway, I am just going to put one more piece of plywood fence on there so nothing falls off. I'll be right back. Well, that is a wrap for the dismantling. It's a lot of sections. Now I've got to go inside and play 3D Tetris and figure out how it's going to go in the trailer. And I'm a little bit worried because the trailer is not as tall as I thought it was. It's only 78 inches tall. I thought I had a clear 96. So I'm going to have to really pack it as tight as I can and hopefully it'll go in.
Yes, I know I'm going to be a disappointment to some of my viewers who have commented about me doing everything without help, and yes, I did need help for a few of the larger sections. So that's all for this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Next time we'll get it packed into the trailer, ready for the 900+ mile journey to its final resting place. I'll see you then. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.